Today, we're jumping into part 2 of how to buy your house. Now, the first part you can find right here. I'm going to put a link. But today, we're talking about everything that you need to do to buy a house after you find it and make your offer. So stay tuned. All right, so let's just jump in. Number 1 is you need to talk to your realtor about what kind of an offer to put in. Now, I know that you probably see on all of those home network channels, everyone getting great deals, but I'm going to tell you, in this hot of a seller's market, those are really hard to find. So your real estate agent's going to be really knowledgeable about how long it's been on the market, if there's been any price drops on the property, what kind of sell it is. I mean, we can kind of do our investigative work and find out if it is in probate, or if it's in a trust, or if there is a divorce. You know, we can kind of dig around and find these things, and that might help us a little bit in negotiations. So make sure you're talking to your realtor. That's not always the case. If it's only been on the market one day and it's a hot property in your area, it's probably going to be going pretty quick, and you're not probably going to be able to get a deal on it. Great example is I had a client that has just been really looking in this certain area with land, and the house that we went and looked at, they really liked it, but we just didn't feel like it was worth the amount of money that they had it listed for. The agent called me and let me know that they had already had an offer on it, and my clients and I decided not to put an offer in because we felt like the deal just wasn't there. If someone's already putting an offer on it, then we knew it was probably going to be full price. So make sure you're communicating with your real estate agent and be really educated on about what kind of an offer that you should be putting in. All right, so number 2 is what inspections that you should have on the property and negotiating those. This is going to vary widely from area to area. But here in Topeka, we like to list out the inspections on the contract, and so your agent really should be able to guide you to what kind of inspections to have, and then also give you a list of inspectors for you to pick on your own. Now, things that we look at when we're, helping you decide what inspections to have is how old is the home. If the home has recently gone through inspections, let's say it just sold 2 years ago and it had a sewer cam, it might not be necessary to have another one. Another good example is a rural property. That's going to need to be inspected by the county and have a septic pump. So those are the things that we're going to help you through. We're also going to help guide you through what a whole home inspection covers. So that way you're not having to pay for additional inspections that maybe aren't needed. So make sure you're talking to your realtors about those inspections, and then also negotiating them afterwards. I always recommend and try to talk my buyers and my sellers about inspections at the very beginning, about things to be ready for. Maybe we feel like it needs a new roof if we're looking at a house that we love, but there's a couple of weird foundation cracks. There's no problem having a foundation inspection. Just be really prepared for it and honest with yourself about what you might expect. Setting up your expectations can be hard, but it's really important. Okay, step number 3 is important, but I feel like it actually gets overlooked a lot. And that one is, what is your backup plan if you get a low appraisal? So this doesn't happen very often, but in a hot market, sometimes we do get offers that are over listing price. And if you are needing help with your closing costs, so if you ask the seller to pay, say, up to $5,000 worth of closing costs, but you're going over the list price, you need to be prepared if that house doesn't appraise to be able to come down on those closing cost requests. It's not necessarily the seller's fault that you put an offer in over list price and ask for closing costs. So don't be surprised if the seller says that they're not going to pay your closing costs. This can get a little confusing. Just make sure you communicate with your agent about what your plan is in case it does come back a little bit low, because it doesn't happen often, but when it does, it can kill a deal really quickly. And the number 4 thing that you need to do in buying a house after you find your house, this is part 2, is make sure you get the bank all of your paperwork. They ask for some kind of silly things sometimes, like, maybe you explaining why you had a lapse in employment. Maybe you decided to stay home with kids, or maybe you got hurt or something. It can vary case to case. But a lot of times banks need to know why you had that, lapse of employment. So just writing a simple letter can fix that. Or getting a letter from a family member saying that they gifted you money. Big deposits in your bank account that are kind of unaccounted for. Sometimes those things need some explanation. So make sure you are communicating a lot with your bank and getting them the information that they need pretty quickly, because that can really hold up any closing. So as much as I know you don't want to hear that and that nobody likes doing the paperwork stuff, it is really important because like I said, it can delay closing. And the number 5 thing for buying a house and what you need is the closing day. This is the Hail Mary. This is what you go through this whole process for, is closing. And it's the best day. It can be the most nerve-wracking day, and it is the light at the end of the tunnel. And I promise you, it'll be worth it. So just hang in there, do all of these steps, and you'll be great. Just closing day, it's fun, be prepared. Okay, so recapping what we talked about today, the 5 things that you need to do after you find your home when buying a house, and that is number 1, speaking with your agent about what kind of offer to make. Number 2 is knowing what inspections to ask for. Number 3 is having a backup plan in case your appraisal comes back low. Number 4, nobody likes to do it, making sure that you get your bank all of the documents and paperwork that they need in a timely manner. And number 5 is just prepare for closing date. You guys, I hope you like this video and this part 1 and part 2 series. I really appreciate you taking your time to watch my channel. My name is Kelli Higgins. I'm a real estate agent with Better Homes and Gardens Wassel Realty here in Topeka, Kansas. And if you guys have any questions for me, please reach out, leave me a comment below. Hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. I would love that. Any feedback is always great. You can reach me here on this channel, or my cell phone is 785-817-9255.